Welcome to our presentation on SyteLine ERP and what comprises an ERP system using this world-class ERP as an example of the component parts that make up ERP. If you've ever seen an ERP presentation, you'll note that there are many dozens if not hundreds of different screens that make up the component pieces of the ERP system. How do these tie together and what does that mean for your organization? In this presentation, we'll be covering these components of the SyteLine ERP system. This is by no means the full system, but it's enough to give you a sense of what the pieces and parts should be. There are other major pieces that we will not be covering, and this is a partial list of that major functionality that exists within the ERP system, but you may not consider to be core or necessary to the main components of ERP. So let's start out with the core of what makes SyteLine ERP a world-class ERP system: inventory management. At the heart of the system is the part master. Most everything you may sell, buy, build, assemble is going to have a part number. Not necessary that everything does have a part number. There are times where you may sell something or use something on the bill of material that's a one-off and would not have an item master. But for most of what a manufacturing company does, the item master is critical. One of the key things is costing for the item master. So with SyteLine, you can have standard or actual costs for that part on an item-by-item basis. We can track LIFO, FIFO, lot-specific, average costing, and of course, standard cost. And there should be and are extensive cost workbenches in SyteLine that allow you to do what-if scenarios. What if I were to change my overhead rates? What if I were to change my labor rates? How would that change my item costs before you actually impact your system? While we won't be discussing very much about multi-site, I should comment here that if you have multiple sites, they can share the item master. We can transfer inventory between sites. We can look at another site's availability. We can place an order upon another site for them to ship the goods, and so on. For many manufacturers or distributors, it's important that we track the serial numbers of specific items and perhaps the lot numbers of those items. So SyteLine does include full lot traceability and full serial number traceability, cradle to grave. So if you've shipped something and there's a problem with it and you need to track backwards to find every other part you've made that used that serial number or that lot number, you can do that with our software. This is, of course, a multi-warehouse environment. So you may have local warehouses within a campus, you may have warehouses scattered across the country, or even across the world. You'll have visibility of all those warehouses, allocation of inventory in those warehouses, safety stocks, reorder points, and so forth. You can even have separate inventory costs by each warehouse, should it have higher carrying rates at one site than another. In today's age with just-in-time manufacturing, it's very important that you be able to consign inventory to customers, keep track of that inventory, and charge for it when the customer uses it. And on the other side, a vendor may be providing inventory to you on consignment. SyteLine handles both of these scenarios quite well with specialized warehouse rules for consignment inventory. Of course, within a warehouse, you could have one-to-many locations, rows, shelves, bins, where different inventory items can be stored. Multiple items could be stored in the same location, or the same item could be stored in multiple locations across warehouses globally. SyteLine tracks every material transaction that you do. Every time you receive a product, ship a product, adjust a quantity, do a cycle count, issue material to a job, issue material to a kit, ship it to a customer, all of that's tracked, and it's tracked in real time. So you'll have visibility in our audit logs of exactly what's happened with your inventory item, who touched it, where it came from, where it went to. At the same time, inventory motion could easily affect the valuation of inventory. For example, shipping an item would impact inventory on hand value and cost of goods. So in real time, SyteLine writes to general ledger journals for those inventory valuation transactions. Join us for our next presentation, which talks about the engineering capabilities of SyteLine and how you track routings and bills and engineering sandbox within the product.